Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Sunday Funday. That's, of course, going to come out on the wrong day because I've just been off on these. And on top of everything, I'm just filming them and watching a movie kind of really almost back to back. Like, it's been maybe 20, 30 minutes since the movie that I saw, which, of course, is Coffee and Kareem.
Honest, women scare the shit out of me. I mean, where do you even start?
Excuse me, my friend here would like to practice talking with a lady.
Tell me about yourself.
I was born and raised in Detroit, and I have an associate's degree in biology, and I'm studying to be a veterinarian.
How much you look at your...
No.
And yes, it's a pun. If you couldn't get that out, a yuck. Or figure it out, I should say. Sorry. But yeah, so... the reason why I saw this is because the same thing that's been happening. Everybody's stuck indoors thanks to, stay-at-home orders. And my state is no different still. So, hey, went to saw another Netflix movie. And this one, though, is actually fairly new. Much like the platform last week. This is, and also, I want to say even Spencer Confidential. This movie premiered just this past weekend. So, hooray, I actually saw something that is not like old as hell, but still came out in the same year. And I need to talk about Coffee and Kareem to at least kind of explain my feelings on this, because screaming the entire time is not the way that I think would 100% portray just how painful this sit was throughout this entire film. Just put you this way. At one point, my, internet just kind of went down for a little bit, and the movie just stopped. And I was like, oh, sweet, I don't have to watch this movie anymore, because Netflix crapped out. I'm like, oh, it's just my internet acting up. God damn it. Oh, this movie. Oh, wow. Oh. Well, to start it off, I, for a while, thought that I was getting into, especially with the opening song that I was playing, it was pretty much a typical rap song that you would expect to hear. Because it's a white officer and a black young kid. Yuck, a yuck, a yuck. Alright. And I was like, alright, what hijinks are they going to get into? And I was thinking, okay, this is going to be a film that is more or less, it's more in vein of Cop and a Half. Or, any of those early 90s technically aimed towards family entertainment films. That's fine. I don't particularly enjoy them a ton, and know anything. If it had been that, it probably just would have been really, really... It would have just been very mediocre, but nothing, offensive. Nothing bad. Nothing that would have made me want to just scream for 3 hours straight. Instead, it's a mix of trying to be sort of like Blue Streak almost, and a bit of Good Boys. And only one of those do I even care for all that much, and even then, I think it's okay. Well, not even Blue Streak. I would probably say more like National Security if you want to think of a Martin Lawrence movie, which I still think is a lot worse than Blue Streak, oddly enough. Most because Steve Zahn's nowhere near as interesting as, who's Martin Lawrence's partner in that movie? Can't remember his name. Blanked on Blue Streak. But to be fair, I'm probably the only person that's thinking of Blue Streak right this moment. But yeah, instead of this trying to be a family-friendly romp or anything like that, which it's fine if it has a mild mouse swearing ass, maybe even a shit or two, ooh, and hells and some dams. That's cool, that would be fine. Again, that would be a perfectly serviceable kind of film. Instead, this movie, despite the fact the opening song is edited, there is obvious use of the N-word, and yes, I'm going to always refer to it as the N-word. Sorry, I'm just not that kind of a shock kind of guy in terms of my speech patterns. But there is times that that's edited and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know why you would have picked this kind of song for a movie that's obviously trying to aim for a more family-friendly tone. But then very quickly, you see Ed Helms and Taraji P. Henson having sex. You don't see anything because, of course, neither one of these actors are going to get naked. Not that they have to, but still, it's a weird weird moments, especially considering like at moments they try to be flirty with each other and talk about taking each other's clothes off while Taraji P. Henson still has his shirt on. And it's like, the fuck? It's one of the things that always bugs me in movies. Like, okay, if you do not want to get nude, you don't have to get nude. But write your script around that fact then and change something. Don't leave that in there, because if your actors are not going to get naked, then don't leave them talking about being naked. It's weird and it doesn't really fit. But yeah, so we learned that Coffee, I think his name is James. I just keep calling him Coffee because it's Officer Coffee's here. Officer Coffee, because they need that joke on the poster there. Again, that's the reason why I'm like, okay, if with that stupid pun, I would have figured, okay, this is totally going to be a kid's movie. Again, I hate to keep harping on this, but again, if you're going with a really dumb pun, go with it and just have at it. But instead, it's this super ultra raunchy film at times. Like, there are some really like the kid is saying fuck every other word to the point where you're like, kid, I get it, you're 12, but shut up. And after we see him and Taraji P. Henson, character's name is Vanessa, which unfortunately this movie could do with a lot more. Taraji P. Henson, she's always useful in most roles except for Proud Mary, strangely enough. Here she feels like she wandered on set for a couple days and just wandered the fuck back off, and they're like, alright, well, Taraji P. Henson's in this movie. Hell, she's what made What Men Want, I think, actually pretty funny. And she also had some damn good facial expressions throughout the entire movie. She pulled off some good mugs in that film, I'd say. But yeah, and then Ed Helms, whose Coffee is just the worst fucking dude you could ever put up with. I get it. We have the straight man in all essence. You know, the guy who's very just straight-minded and all this. I'm not talking in terms of sexual orientation or anything. He's very non-corruptible and all this or that, but he's the same character he was in Tag, even though I thought that character at least worked in that film. He was the same character he was in fucking Hangover. He was the same character in almost every fucking movie he's been in since he started being an actor. It's just this thing where he has to talk and sometimes do this randomly. It never really works, and it always feels like this is a guy trying to act his way out of a situation where he doesn't really know how to act as well as he really should. It always fails is the biggest problem. Maybe with the exception of Tag, because he has other good actors and other good comedic actors around him. That was the only time I thought it worked. But other than that, constantly, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, shut up, dude. It's like, the only reason that it isn't Vince Vaughn is because Vince Vaughn really is not doing anything these days besides some straight-to-DVD films. And I think even Vince Vaughn has more integrity than to sign off on this piece of shit. But yeah, this movie takes nearly 30 minutes to start up, which is a good sign in an hour and a half long film. Good going there, film. Because we need to see Coffee and his attempts at humor and him flirting sort of with Vanessa, and also we get to be introduced to Kareem. Now, the kid's acting is fine. It's nothing to write home about. It's not Super 8 levels, but it's not like the most bored sounding child actor you've ever had. He does holler a lot is the best way to put it. He does tend to shout a lot of his lines, and it gets a little bit obnoxious. Considering what they have him saying, I'm not that surprised, and that's the problem. The writing in this film is fucking atrocious. The entire premise of this film is simply Kareem hates the fact that, yeah, his name's Joe. I just realized that. I'm like, oh yeah, his name's Joe Coffee. It's a fucking stupid ass name. But yeah, so he hates that Joe is now sleeping with his mom. Okay, And he is dealing with this because by hiring a gangster to beat up Joe, and ends up, whenever he meets up with this gangster to try and hire him, he sees the gangster kill a cop, and stuff happens. Now, if that sounds like you've heard this kind of a story before, and you've seen this kind of thing, you have. But you haven't had to put up with a 12-year-old who's utterly insufferable throughout the entire film. Oh my god, I thought the kids from Good Boys were fucking terrible. I thought they were fucking atrocious. Jesus, this kid won't shut up. It's just constantly. And it's to this, like, where obviously he does know about some sexual stuff. That's fine. I don't mind that as much. There is sometimes where that it can be funny. There's times where certain things could be funny, but it still needs to be grounded somewhere in reality if you're going to use that as your basis of your film. Like, the issues I had with Good Boys was the fact that they didn't understand a lot of sexual terms, but did understand some. And they spoke about them with the entire understanding of that of a 2-year-old. It didn't make any fucking sense throughout the entire film. Here, the problem is he does have the understanding of certain sexual stuff, and also obviously the verbiage, and gets down with, in terms of like knowing how to say them and certain ways on how to work the words in. But it is to the point to where everybody has to be these pussy whipped bitches that are fine with a foul-mouthed 12-year-old yelling at them. It just doesn't work. And on top of everything, we have to put up with the fact that, like, at one point he is trying to talk his way out of giving a poem in front of the class, even though he tries to make a big deal that he's a rapper or something. And it's like, well, why would you fucking care? Why wouldn't you use this as your opportunity to be up in front of people and show off your skills and show off your flow? First off, yeah, he doesn't have flow. He doesn't have any good rhymes or anything. And it's just this profanity lace thing where it's an ode to his teacher and wanting to fuck her. If that screams creepy and a lot, if you are getting warning signs in your head and like, this feels really fucking wrong, then you are a human. You are a normal human. If you aren't having those go off, you're a fucking Mormon, I guess. Sorry, Mormons. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, and the teacher's big thing is, well, you got detention now. It's one of these where this would be a good time for her just to say, just like, let's say like there's the little speaker that was going with this thing. She grabs it and throws it on the ground or breaks it or something like that and goes, enough of that shit. You know, and just breaks in front of over his, you know, pretty much being a little deviant in most regards, as you would think of it. Regardless of like, oh, it's cute, he has a crush on his teacher. No, it's not. Especially how, you know, fucking creepy he puts it and everything. It's like, okay, that wouldn't fly if a 18-year-old was saying that to his teacher, or anybody was saying that to another woman. It would be very grotesque. Not to be the noble knight for her, but just it's fucking weird. And so after that, we have to see the hijinks ensue between Coffee and Kareem. And Kareem is nothing but a dick to him throughout pretty much 9/10 of the movie. If that tells you just how little there is in terms of the turnaround where suddenly Kareem actually gives a fuck about Coffee. Until he finally actually, you know, starts to kind of care about him. And it's one of these moments where throughout the entire movie, with that, you know, like they don't really have much in the way of bonding. There's like one moment, okay, they're trying to do the bonding stuff, but they feel this overwhelming need to have instill ultra raunchy, you know, violence and shit like that. Fine, but then why bother with the bonding shit? Who fucking cares at this point? You're not doing role models where obviously that group, that film was filmed with two people who, one, really knew how to deliver some good comedy, two, could get away with a raunchy, foul-mouthed kid, but make him still somewhat endearing by giving him an actual fucking tragic issues, beyond the fact, just daddy issues, but actually giving something to those daddy issues. And showing Sean William Scott, rising up to become, not just a willing, but a wanting father figure for him. That was something in role models. And this is fucking not. Instead, constantly, Ed Helms seems to not give a whole lot of shit about maybe anything but Vanessa and also his own life. Kareem is just kind of there. And there's never a resolution for any of it. It's one of these moments where it's like, well, why don't you try to actually put some resolution? Put something towards this heartfeltness. Instead of being constantly this attempt, I guess, at trying to be a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it seems like it wants to be a spoof film at times. Because, there is just ultra stupid shit just happening for stupid reasons. But in the same instance, there's stuff that's not really stupid. And it's just ultra violent for no good reason. It's a film that doesn't understand what it's trying to do. And it constantly fights with itself. The spoof stuff, the attempts at trying to still have a heartfelt message and still try to, show these characters grow together. This ultra violent shit that really kind of comes a fuck out of left field at times. And on top of that, you also have to put up with no actor in this really seems to give two fucks. Hell, you have, like I said, Ed Helms is the same damn character he's been in every movie for over the past 10 fucking years. Taraji P. Henson's fine. She's passable, but she's barely in the movie. She takes up maybe 15 minutes of the film. The 12-year-old, I don't think he's actually 12. I'm not sure exactly how old the younger actor is, Kareem himself. But he's kind of insufferable throughout a lot of it, mostly thanks to his dialogue. His acting's okay for what he's given, but he's given nothing worth a shit, except for just to be a little asshole. And that's the biggest thing, is he's just the little asshole. And then, I have to mention her, and that's part of the reason why I need my phone, because I was like, this lady looks familiar. You probably know her from The Hunt that just came out recently. Betty Gilpin. She was also in, of course, I looked it up, and she was also in The Grudge that we missed earlier this year. Might still miss it. Might figure out a way around that one. But yeah, so she's in this, and she cannot be bothered to give a shit throughout this entire movie. Everything has to be this over-dramatic overacting. Because, surprise, there's crooked cops, and she's one of them. And not only that, but I fucking can't remember the guy's name. But he's usually pretty funny comedian. He's older, of course, and I would look it up, but I don't know where I would find him. Oh, there it is. David Allen Greer. That's all. I was like, let's see, David. Oh, there he is. Yeah, that's who it is. Yeah, I actually like him. He's really funny throughout most other things he is in. Here, he's only in 2 scenes, and again, it's this stupidly written scene where he has to spell out directly, he is one of the crooked cops. The fuck? I don't know what this movie is trying to do. Like I said, there's times where, because with that scene, there's him like, I was trying to tell you, I like cocaine. I'm trying to tell you that one time I like cocaine. And how do you think I got this Ferrari full of cocaine? It's weird lines like that where it's like, is this supposed to be funny because it's not funny? Are you going for this anti-humor shit? Because it doesn't really fucking work. Because it's anti-humor, not funny. I don't know. And on top of that, he just gets killed off so that way we can have her name is Watts. Her last name is, I should say. She needs to be like this psycho person who just won't shut up. And it would be one thing if she was constantly sniffing cocaine, just, and that was, kind of her thing, or maybe, you know, there was kind of an idea that she was a bit of a coke sniffer or anything like that. But no, she just is awkward and tries to be funny with her awkwardness. Like, I've got to talk to the French people and it's be a French accent. The fuck are you doing? Why is this in here? Why would you do this? And not only that, but why would you kill this other guy who's supposedly helping you if everything was fine? What the fuck is going on right now? Why is this happening? What the hell is going on in this movie? Like, the last 20 minutes of this movie make no fucking sense. It just shifts constantly and violently between trying to have some kind of message, trying to wrap up the mystery, which you guess from the beginning of the fucking film, and also tries to wrap up all these characters, because there's also this drug dealer we're supposed to care about, I guess, because he's there. I don't know why I should care about him, because he's a drug dealer. Who fucking cares? They give like a last minute resolution. Oh, I wasn't really wanting to be a part of this. I was wanting to be a dentist, because that's funny, because dentists. And it constantly felt like I expected Ed Helms to be sitting there next to me, kind of like poking me in the ribs, like, it's funny, isn't it? It's very funny. And it's just like, no, Ed, this is not funny. This is actually kind of torturous. And that's the thing, the movie is fucking torture. Like, it is not even an hour and a half long. Like, with credits, it goes to an hour and 28. Outside of credits, it's an hour and 21 minutes. Like, yeah, it's that fucking short, amazingly enough. And it still feels like a torturous set. Oh, fuck me. This movie is... It would be one thing if it was even, like, mildly entertaining. Or again, like I said at the beginning, if it aimed for a family-friendly kind of tone, go for a PG-13. You could still go with some decent kind of language. You could still go with some decent jokes. Hell, you could still go with the story you're trying to get across. But go one way or the other. It's trying to go all the directions. It's trying to cover all these different bases. And by doing that, ends up accomplishing fucking nothing except wasting your time. Like, this is honestly one of the worst films I've had to sit through in a bit. And that's saying something. I've had to sit through some major shit lately. Like, the platform fucking sucked. Gretel and Hansel was a goddamn bore. Or fucking Harley Quinn, the movie, was atrocious. And the best thing I can say is, like, some of this I don't hate. But on top of everything, it's like, this movie just, compared to all these other things, like, it feels like a film that just was rushed out because, like, oh, well, you know, there's no movies in theaters, so let's push this shit out. So we'll give somebody something to watch. It's like, nobody fucking needs to see this if it's this piss poor. And that's the thing, the movie just is poor. It's so terrible. Oh, God. Oh, fuck this movie. Fuck everybody attached to this piece of garbage. I don't know why anybody would want to see this. That's the worst thing. Like, I always try to be positive about some aspect of the film. That's always the reason why I try to wrap these up with, you know, talking about, oh, well, you might want to watch this because of this. I might be very snarky and, in fact, very assholey is the best way I could even put it. A fake, made-up word by me. You know, I may be that dickhead, but honestly with this, I don't know why you would want to watch it. None of the actors really seem to give a damn. None of the situations ever feel like any of the actors are actually in peril because they keep treating it like shtick. And I mean, only once did I feel, oh, well, maybe, you know, this might be slightly perilous, even though I obviously know it's like this is going to kind of hit some similar beats as, you know, other better films. I don't know, Cop and a Half's kind of hard to call it a better film. It's more watchable is the best thing I can say, technically. And that's the thing, even with like bad movies like Bloodshot, I would at least say it's a fun train wreck. Like, if y'all want to go watch Bloodshot, I wouldn't blame y'all. Pay as little as humanly possible for it, because it is a bad movie, but damn is it actually kind of entertaining by just how piss poor the entire thing is. Like, it's arguably like what Cats should be if it was only an hour and a half long. Cats at 2 hours long is me wanting to just blow my brains out. An hour and a half, I almost might be okay with people sitting there watching it. 2 is too much. But yeah, this is a surprisingly just not even lackluster. This is like just a movie where it just doesn't know what it wants to do. So it's like, all right, we're going to do everything. It's like, but we can't do everything, Bob. That's not fucking feasible. It's like, I don't care. We're going to do it. It's like, okay, Bob. Blah, blah. If you want a final score, it's obviously a 7.23 because this movie has no. This is a fucking 1. It's not a movie that you're going to sit there and, 1, remember after you watch it. 2, you can't watch it with any of your kids. It's way too fucking violent at times. It's way too fucking vulgar for kids. Which, you know, I watched more whenever I was a kid, but I was a fucked up kid, so I'm not a good example, folks. But on top of all of that, it's not a pleasant movie. That's another issue in and of itself. Like, if you want another reason why you wouldn't want to watch it, it just is not a pleasant film to sit through. And yeah, I have recommended some movies that I would technically say are not good, or not a good movie to sit through, because in the fact that they're going to make you feel like a human turd afterwards. Detroit, 1917, just to name 2 right off the top of my head I can think of. But at least those made you think. This movie is not going to make you think except one thing. Why the fuck did I turn this on? That is simply going to be the overbearing thought throughout the entire time while you're seeing it. Like, why did I put this on? Is this what I wanted to watch? Why? And I am actually kind of surprised. A lot of people on IMDb are very much like me. They're like, this is kind of terrible. It's kind of bad. Like, it's seen in a 5 something, but for a just premiered movie, that's rough, because it doesn't usually go higher and higher. Some movies will level out a little bit lower. That's usually the case. Very few movies go back up. Like, this has just been nosediving more. And fuck it, let the movie burn. Like, this really feels like a film that they should have sat back, watched everything that they had, and went, maybe we should just bury it. Hell, better movies than this have been buried year after year. What is another one to the pile of Hollywood corpses? Oh, God, fuck this movie. Fuck its stupid pun name, and fuck its stupid fucking faces all over it. Ugh. I don't even know what to say anymore. I want to even try to recommend stuff. If you want to watch something this week, you can watch Onward. That's the only thing I can think of right now that's still, like, fairly newish that you can watch. Hell, if 1970 is available, go watch that. It'll make you feel terrible inside and kind of depressed, but at least you'll have a decent enough time and you're not going to feel like your brains are melting the entire time. And if you do feel that way, you're a weird human being. Yeah, just skip over this. Don't watch Kareem or Coffee and Kareem. It's fucking bad, people. Ugh. Hey, that's another one down. Lord, am I happy the coronavirus hit, so that way the first week in April I got to watch this piece of shit instead of New Mutants. Hell, I was actually kind of looking forward to New Mutants, even though I was pretty sure it was going to be bad. At least it could have been, hopefully, terribly bad. Hopefully it wouldn't have been X-Men Dark Phoenix, or Dark Phoenix X-Men, whatever it was fucking called. I think it was just called Dark Phoenix now I think about it. But yeah, it's the best I can even get this movie. My brain is like tired of wanting to think about this film. Yeah, go go watch anything else at this point. You could even watch a shitty film. Watch Bloodshot. You know, it's at least comedic in terms of how inept it is. This movie thinks it's smarter than it really is. It doesn't realize it's so woefully dumb. But hey, I'm your film whore, and that's my opinions on it. Until next time, maybe I can see something good. Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. Anybody, can you please give me something decent? I don't know, I might have an idea for something I might watch instead. Because I'm about to lose my ever-loving mind if I watch another shitty film in a row. I have not had a good movie in such a long time, it feels like. I think, yeah, the last one was Onward. Like, Spencer Confidential was just at best. I'll throw out a lot of it. Things have not improved. But hey, until then, I will let you all go and I'll see y'all later. So, bye-bye, everybody.